trick that I'll share with you. I can choose a better way with every little thought I think. If I wake up with a bad attitude, I fill my mind with gratitude. I give thanks for everything with every little thought I think. I can choose to be happy, choose to be free, moment by moment. It's all up to me, 'cause what I think about, I bring about. That's the way it is, and there is no doubt. Day by day, I pave the way with every little thought I think.
Hello and welcome. I am so glad you're here. I'm Beth, a creator-based coach with CMH Coaching for Life. I'm here today to help you and those you love create a life you feel grounded and at home in. Think of a life where you feel peace, love for those around you, and in a flow with just enough challenge to keep you happy and creating something wonderful. Sounds like magic, but it's not. You can create that life every single day. You can have a life full of love, excitement, hope, and creation. Our mission at CMH Coaching is to flood the earth with light through compassion, mindfulness, and hope. And I'm going to ask a favor of you. If you like what you see and hear today, think of someone you know that would enjoy and benefit from this message. Our mission is to flood the world with compassion, mindfulness, and hope. Share this with them. But for now, this is time just for you. So settle into whatever you're doing and enjoy this time with the girls, where we create that one awesome, amazing, perfect life every one of us is seeking.
What you thinking? What you thinking? What you thinking? What you thinking? You gotta watch your thinking. Watch your thinking. Watch your thinking.
Welcome to A Creator-Based Life. I'm here today. I'm Beth Brooks, just should say that first, right? For episode 150 of
We should have like,
yeah,
confetti. Where's the confetti?
Yes, we should have. Can we do confetti?
I know, you would think it would do it. I don't
used to maybe blue hearts, balloons. JC, make
What
it happen.
happened? You're the only one that was able to make it happen.
Yeah, she's the only magic one.
know.
Okay,
What in the world?
so
Oh.
episode 150 that deserves confetti and hearts, and Zoom just won't recognize us today, but of A Creator-Based Life. And we're just so happy to be here with you and so excited to be able to share this bit of time on the podcast with you. I'm here with Jacine Bonnet, who is a business creator-based coach, and Jennifer DeRoos, who is an outstanding creator-based coach and a hypnotherapist. And she's so good at the hypnotherapy. We're here today to talk about the messy middle. Just the messy middle.
I'm going to do this. Oh, look at that.
Oh, there's our 150.
Yeah, we're going to party. Yeah, there we go.
Halfway to 200 now, y'all.
Middle, we're partying about the 150 episodes.
Right.
Right. So, life is beautiful until it's not. And then it's beautiful again until it's not. And we're doing this 50-50 gig all the time. So what I really wanted to talk about today is, how do you go through that up and down and up and down? And how do you capitalize and learn and navigate that? My mom used to say when I would come home from school, she never knew what to expect. I was just hot and cold running emotion. And so it's just, as she'd say, my sister, same way. She's like, your brother'd come home. I knew every day what it was going to be like, but you girls never knew how you were going to come in that back door. But by nature, we are emotional beings. We are spiritual. We are energetic. We just feel stuff.
Yes.
So when our life is finished, completely finished, and the experience that we've had here is finished, I just want to be able to say, yeah, I did that right. And with all of this, and all of the messy middle, I don't want to have wasted it on complaining or social media, or at this point in time, Downton Abbey, because I'm just loving Downton Abbey. I don't want to have wasted it. I don't want to miss what's really important. And I want to capitalize on every day. Understanding that rest is important and downtown has its place and Netflix had their place and social media can be a great thing.
Mm-hmm.
But to be able to discern on a day-to-day basis amidst the emotion, what's the next best step? And how to navigate those down and dirty, I mean, they're dirty, man, down and dirty moments of living. How do we do that? So, you guys, we all have great family background stories to tell. We all have great work stories to tell and family stories to tell and personal experiences. But just what do you do with your down and dirty moments?
You know,
How do you do that?
it was really interesting because as you were talking, the thought came to my mind. So, y'all, I have been working on my daughter's baby book. She turns 32 on Wednesday.
Yay!
So,
Hey, you know
anyone out
what? You're
there,
doing it.
right, anyone out there, let the guilt go, let the shame go. It has been like I saved everything, I shoved everything into the baby book. When the doctors would write down the weight and the height and
Yeah,
rip it off
get
of
in there.
the paper, and hand it to you. I had all those things so I could enter it in. And then we had a lot of video that I went back and could review and remember. But one of the questions in that baby book was um, how did I deal with anger? So meaning my daughter when I was little, right? How did I deal with anger when I was little?
Deal with
And
anger.
it was interesting because Mark and I talked about it and we're like, well, yeah, she would get angry and she would stomp her foot and she another foot stomper. Got that from me. But um I remember as a young mother, so I was 30 when I had her, and sending her to her room. Go,
I'm out.
go deal with
Take
it.
the time
Just
to be.
go be angry. And when you're done and you can be kind and say nice things and not kick the cat, um, like, then come down, right?
Right. When you're calm again. But were you ever able to do it in a way that really was okay that she was angry?
No, and that's
It
the
took me,
thing.
yeah,
Yeah.
it took me till kid number 8 to
Wow.
be able to finally say, okay, just go take your time out.
Hey, yeah.
And just like I would allow a friend to go do a timeout.
Right.
But it began with kid number 1, 2, and 3, where it was just
Punishment.
that punishment. Go.
Yes, it's a
Yeah,
punishment. Get out of my face. I don't want it. And
right.
so, as I was writing in her baby book, I wrote the words, I wish I would have known now, or wish would not known
No,
then
yeah,
what I know now
yeah.
regarding anger, because I sent you to your room to try and, as a child, try and figure this out on your own.
Those great big
Those
feelings, right?
feelings.
They're overwhelming feelings. Yeah.
And you're internalizing those as a child, going, okay, I'm a terrible person. I'm in trouble. I shouldn't feel this, all that kind of stuff. And now, knowing what I know regarding emotions and just learning through CMH coaching, and, just it's just been such a blessing, you guys, in my life. But now knowing that emotion deserves respect and it deserves the opportunity to talk about, hey, let's go sit on your bed and let's chat. Tell me, when you can calm down, let's breathe for a minute and then let's talk about this, right? Instead of it never, we don't address it. And it was interesting having that experience to write that in her baby book, going reflecting back as a mom now, still her mother, but much later, that things do get messy. And don't we just want to be heard? And don't we just want to feel like we're valued? And don't we just want, I can remember,
Understand.
yeah,
That was my thing. I wanted to understand what all of this chaos inside of my body was. I was
Yes.
just feeling so big.
PMSing. I mean, think about that. Like,
Oh,
oh, I
the
had
worst.
terrible PMS after I had Jessica, and all I wanted, and I behaved terribly.
You didn't know.
It was terrible.
So,
And
so I'm seeing forgiveness and
yeah,
I'm seeing curiosity. But
yes.
okay, keep
But
going.
love, what I
Yeah.
wanted, what the thing that would have just taken that off my plate because my love language is touch.
Mhm.
Had my husband or my child or
Somebody.
my mother come up and just wrapped their arms around me and just hugged me and just been like, "You're going to be okay. It's
This
okay."
is a big feeling right now, but
Oh,
just sit here.
right. It would have gone. It would have gone. I knew it. I wanted to say, "Could you just hug me when I'm behaving that way?" And my
Uh-huh.
husband's looking at me like, "Are you kidding
Are you
me?
kidding? You'll
No,
hurt me.
You're a
no."
Tasmanian devil. I don't want to go near you. Yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
my gosh. Yeah.
I
So,
think it's so important to understand, that anger is big and like that. And a lot of times all you want
Big
is somebody to
emotion.
diffuse it. They just, can you help me diffuse this? Can you help me, like, take the energy out of it? Jason, I think that is so beautiful that you wrote that in her baby book. That's going to
mhm,
go so far when she reads that, to understand her mother. I mean, like, because I wasn't allowed to have anger, and
I don't think most of us were allowed to have anger when we were young.
and so if I were to get a letter or a baby book that my mother, in retrospect, now understood that,
Yeah.
it
I
would
wish I had held you more.
it would take that
Yeah.
that energy out of the anger that still existed over that. So I think that's going
mm,
to be just really big for her to have that.
yeah. Well, I
Yeah.
think there's purpose in 32 years later.
Yes.
There
I'm
is.
praying that there is. I know there is. Not, yeah, I already know.
There is. Yeah.
Mm.
Always looking for ways to work with those strong emotions, whether it's anxiety and fear, or whether it's anger and resentment, or just judgment in general.
Mm.
You know, I've worked for years and years with the phrase in my head, why do you have to be so stupid?
Mhm.
Right.
It's not a good phrase. And
No.
so for me, that comes out of frustration and anger, and resentment, this whole combination. And so working on that, at least for me, the first step was recognizing that my emotion was not bad.
Mhm.
Mhm.
Having grown up in shame over emotion
Yep.
because we all, or at least a lot of us, lived in quiet households that parents liked it to be peaceful and quiet, you know? And so big, big feelings weren't welcomed.
Right.
Yeah. Only happy feelings were welcomed.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
What were you,
Mhm.
it's
I
there.
I honestly forgot. So give me a minute. My brain will come back
Okay, well,
online.
let's just talk about one of the things that really, really helped me was after the first principle of creator-based coaching, I am the creator of my life experience.
Mhm.
That's not the one that really helped me. The one that really helped me was the second one. I have within me light and truth, all the power I need. That phrase, all the power I need to grow and progress, was exactly what I needed to internalize, to say, okay, these are really big emotions, but I have all the power I need to
Mm.
accept or to limit or to choose or to be curious or to be compassionate, but it's in there already. So to have that security of a big emotion coming up and knowing that I have all the power I need, I can do this, was
Mhm.
huge for me in beginning to work with them, because so much of the energy of my emotion was pushing the emotion away.
Right. Burying it, whatever.
Yeah, or
I
just
love
denying it. And
I
go ahead.
love the little visual of, like, have you ever tried to keep a ball underwater in a swimming pool?
Yes, like push the beach ball down.
Yeah, you can't keep it down, it'll pop up, and so
Right.
that's, like, when I help people understand emotions, that's like that. You're pushing it down and pushing it down, and you can't do it forever.
Yeah, but for so
Mhm.
many of us, emotion is really scary.
Mhm.
because it brought some really negative experiences when we were children,
Yep.
you know, expressing those emotions. And so knowing that I had the power and then owning that power and allowing myself to be curious,
Yeah.
just a question, just what is this?
Yeah.
Just
Mhm.
that
When
was
I
so,
started to look at emotions as not a bad thing to have, that
yes.
they're neither negative or positive. Yes, there's some I want, some I don't want
We're
to
a chemical reaction in the body.
but they're just it's my opportunity for information on how I'm feeling or doing in the world. So I look at them now as just information, and I actually really like it when the anger or the resentment comes up because I'm like, there's something behind this.
Something
Yeah.
important is here.
Something important is here. Let me figure out where's my anger, because my anger is usually just a shield for something else.
Right.
Yeah.
So
Right.
how did you get safe with your anger then, Jen?
Because it was not allowed in childhood.
Right. How did you
Mhm.
transition to
It was
that?
a lot of us coaching here at CMH. It was me doing a lot of just personal work and understanding that emotions aren't bad.
Mhm.
Emotions aren't bad, and that understanding that it's just information. I don't know what book I read, but I got it from something from somewhere that
Right.
I'm
But
like,
that's a really
oh,
important statement.
yeah.
This is just information.
Yeah.
So I can look at my emotion as an observer and kind of give it space and stand back and say, oh, what is it trying to tell me? Oh, I've got an angry little 2-year-old in me. She's throwing a tantrum, or I've got an angry teenager here. I'm like, I get you, you know. Yeah.
Almost like deflating the beach ball, right?
Mhm.
You're trying so hard to hold down, and suddenly it becomes manageable. You don't have to completely deflate it, but it deflates it enough that you can manage it and
Yeah,
then
or
take work.
just is no longer a beach ball. You don't even need it. Yeah.
Mhm.
Maybe you don't need it anymore.
Mhm.
Sometimes though, the beach ball will not be deflated and curiosity will not do it,
Yep.
right?
I love the next part of CMH coaching, and that is
So call that next
we are
principle.
yeah, the next principle of CMH coaching, which is we are different by divine design. And for me, that's super helpful because I was in from a big family and I had cousins and and I heard, why can't you be like,
Oh, JC,
why
I'm so
can't you be
sorry.
like?
That
Yeah.
hurts.
Yeah. And and it wasn't often, but enough to remember,
Yeah,
like, oh,
yeah,
why can't you be like so and so?
yeah.
And so that principle is, we're different by divine design and we're meant to be, and it's a beautiful thing. And, you
We
know,
embrace it.
yeah. Like you look at the trees, they're all different and they're incredible. Every flower. I think it was, oh gosh, now I can't remember, somebody that's like a thought leader. And he made the comment, he's like, um, Kenneth, what is it? If if you're a fish and you want to be a cat, are you able to climb a tree? Like you can't. It's
I can't.
physically impossible. You're a fish. You
Yeah.
can't climb a tree. You can't be a cat. And that's
Mhm.
okay because you have your own special your own special
Your gifts. You
purpose,
have your
purpose
own
and
gifts and
gift.
your own
Yeah.
abilities.
Yeah.
And that takes us to one of the things that really makes a difference is knowing who you are, right?
Yeah.
As you're,
I
if
am
you're,
not a cat. I'm a fish.
I'm not, and I'm not a fish, and I'm not a cat. I'm
I'm not
probably
either.
more of a raccoon. But yeah.
I'm a chipmunk.
Are you a chipmunk, really?
I think I am. Yeah.
Okay, so into my head comes a picture of an iguana. I guess I'm an iguana. Yeah.
Very cool. I love it.
Yeah, iguana. That's what comes into my head.
You know,
But
when what comes into my head about iguanas, and this is kind of aside anyway, but it just made
we
me
love
laugh
the
in my
side
head.
trip.
I'm like, Beth wouldn't do this, but an iguana, Beth, maybe, I don't know. When we were in Bonaire, because we were divers, scuba
Mhm.
divers in Bonaire, there's tons of iguanas. And my brother's fiance was with us,
Mhm.
and she would wear tanning lotion and things like that. And the iguanas loved her, and they would chase her around to lick her legs. So I just kind of had this Beth iguana running around licking legs. That was where my brain went. So
Iguana with Beth's face on it.
I don't think I can unsee that one.
We can AI this. Let's not.
licking legs. I just,
Wow. All right.
We
So,
digressed.
I'm sorry, that's my brain.
you know, the other thing that really makes a huge difference in the messy middle is laughter. It
Here we
is
are.
so great at diffusing tension. I mean, it can just be some silly. I think about when you've been to a funeral, you've lost someone that you love, and you've had all of those great big emotions. You come home, and if you're lucky, you're with a half a dozen other people who get you. And what do you end up doing? You end up laughing and crying
Yes.
in the kitchen because laughing is just such an amazing, amazing release. It is
Mhm.
such a gift. So
Mhm.
messy middle, make some time for laughter and just let it go, right?
Yeah.
But the who, knowing who you are and knowing why you're here,
Mm.
you know, that's huge. Have you guys been around people who just know their who and just know their why?
Oh, yeah.
Feel like,
Solid. I mean, yeah, just.
And unstoppable.
uh-huh.
Mhm.
For me, it feels very secure, that
Yeah.
Yes.
solidness. I feel safe, which is wild, but
Mhm.
I feel safe because they have it together. You know, like, can I ride your coattails?
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
in contrast, I have been around those people that have no idea about who they are, and they're just at the whims of like what's happening around them, like their
Mhm.
circumstances. And
yeah,
that's really sad, and it's really unsettling too. So,
yeah.
I have been around both.
Feels like chaos.
Yeah.
Mm.
And it does. It feels like there's not solid ground. So you both know who you are. I know you do because I've worked with you long enough. How'd
Mhm.
you get that way?
Mhm.
Good question.
Yeah, it's a fun thing to think about. I think part of it is years of life,
Mhm.
Yeah. Yeah.
and a lot of it is personal choices.
Hmm.
But personal choices, at least for me, a lot of it was personal choices to connect with my creator regularly and
Hmm.
choose self-love and to choose self-forgiveness, that self-compassion.
Hmm.
That made a huge difference for me. When I started studying with Kristen Neff and Christopher Germer and did their workshops and their training and stuff, it really cemented in my heart the personal worth that I knew was there, but it was taking care of myself with compassion
Yeah.
really settled my worth, you know,
Mhm.
made it unstoppable. And being able to respond to the messy middle with personal self-compassion was huge. What do you think, Jen?
Well, I'm also thinking about my own experience with that too, because I also took those classes with Kristen and
Christopher.
Christopher.
Yeah.
was Gerber is yeah.
Yeah.
Um, um, and it actually helped me to see the fallacies or the lies that I was telling myself about my worth. And
Yes.
Mhm.
that was really helpful for me because then I was able to have more of a solid base on my purpose and who I am and feel safe to discover and explore and that type of thing. And so, yeah.
Well, and then the ongoing practice of self-forgiveness, self-compassion,
Mhm.
you know, the rub your arm or give yourself a hug or just, I loved when we were talking last week and you said, I'm being such a good human today.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The human brain is really humaning.
Yes,
Yeah.
my brain is really humaning, big time. Lots of human
Yeah.
going on in there today.
That
Yeah.
really helped me in understanding that sometimes our brain's just going to be that way and we're not going to be the best person that
Well, and
we.
we're not designed to always be the best person. We're 50-50.
Right.
So the
Right.
ucky, yucky middle 50 of the 50-50 is expected.
Yeah.
And it's not shameful and it's not to be judged. It's just what is.
And that's why we give others permission to be human too. I mean, if we want that permission, then for sure we need to be granting it. And man, what would this world be like if we did that for each other? Yeah.
Yeah.
People would feel that sense of belonging, right? They would feel the sense of belonging. They would feel, valued. They would feel heard. They would, yeah, it would be very different.
Yeah, and I
Yeah.
think there would be a lot of these little messes or people, oh, I got my feelings hurt and things like that.
Mhm.
Yeah, you're just like, oh, I was offended. You know, like,
Yeah.
eh.
Well, you can be offended, but then it would pass quickly, right?
Hmm.
Yeah. Because
Or you could
I,
just, I try and look at it as like, so not so much offense, unless it's really absolutely rude, but it's like more of like, oh, there's a disagreement here. We don't see eye to
yeah,
eye.
I don't agree.
We just don't
Yeah.
agree, and that's okay.
And there's no emotional charge in that to me now. We
Right.
we just don't agree
You don't
because
have,
we're different by design.
yeah.
We don't have to agree. And I'm not going to try and convince you while you're wrong. I'm just going to say we just don't agree.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. So then how did you come to your values?
I think I've always been very principled and had
Yes.
like really strong values. And we do learn those from our parents. We learn those from an early age in our world. And it's interesting because in book club, I'm putting a plug for book club. We're reading The Girl with Seven Names, Escape
Oh,
from
yes,
North
I
Korea.
remember that.
It is so good. And she is just really talking about how she was brought up and in North Korea, right? And that that was her normal as a child. And so she didn't think that there was anything wrong with, even though she had a sense of, oh, this doesn't feel exactly right, but it must be this way because that's
That's
what
the way
she was
everything
taught.
is. Yeah.
And so you know, I grew up with really wonderful parents who had high moral standards and values. And we went to church every Sunday and we sang songs as a family. And we did things. They weren't perfect for crying out loud, but it was, we tried, right? And so those principles helped me. And then as I got older, and when we're in teenagers, we get to look at that and say, do I really want to like continue that? Or, you
But
know,
yeah, young adults, we make a lot of decisions that way.
yeah, yeah, yeah. And some of them good, and some of them, I had hard life lessons to learn. But one of the beliefs that my mom had was we can't have anything nice because the kids will ruin it. And
Oh,
so we didn't
yeah.
have nice furniture. We didn't, but yeah, I would go to my aunt's house and they had nine children and they had beautiful things and their kids weren't jumping on them. They weren't like wild Indians. Like I had five brothers, we kind of were wild Indians.
Oh,
And so I remember probably 16 years old, I said, I'm going to have nice things, and my kids will not treat my stuff the way that your kids, mother,
you
I
don't
probably
have
got,
to own it. Yes.
probably got slapped for that. Your kids, mom, behave.
Uh-huh. My kids are going to behave better than that.
So, I think we all have those things when we're teenagers where we're trying to figure out, well, what do I stay principled in? What do I stay
Yeah.
What
What
are my values? What are my beliefs? Yeah.
Yeah, and you go into your life, with your career choices, your family choices, your life choices, and try those values out. And sometimes they shift, right?
Yeah.
You're in
Yeah.
your 30s and your 40s and maybe into your 50s, and you're just shifting and honing and figuring it out. And that's okay. Because the more aligned we are with our deeply held values, the more calm we can be, the more centered and grounded, the deeper our roots when we really know that kind of thing. There's a cool brainy thing here, Jen. I'm going to read it and you can tell me if there's more you want to say about it. It has to do with living aligned with our deeply held values, that when we do that, our value-based decision center in the brain, which is the ventromedial prefrontal cortex,
Okay.
it gets activated. And it actually reduces inner conflict. and it lowers our stress hormones and it helps us to be more consistent. So the ventral medial prefrontal cortex, we know prefrontal cortex,
Yeah.
medial's the middle. I don't know ventral, but the byproduct is actually peace. That is a chemically created peace when we make the choices that are aligned with our deeply held values.
Well, think about it. When you do make a choice that goes against your values,
There's conflict, inner conflict. Yeah,
conflict.
it's like it turns into chaos and disruption.
I get that. I get that. Because your prefrontal cortex is where all your decisions are made, your reasoning and your decisions and things like that. So that's really interesting. I like that.
I really loved that idea because I'm always looking for something that would create peace for me, right? I don't care, just whether it's a piece of 100% dark chocolate, which really does create peace for me.
Or a walk or a nap.
A walk or a nap, which creates peace for me. Or choosing with my aligned, deeply held values. That's really cool that I can create that chemistry in this choice, and the byproduct then is peace. It just kind of, I mean, I always knew it felt good to choose, but I didn't know why.
Really cool. I really like that.
Yeah, I just really, really loved it. The other thing is when we make those choices that align with who we know we are, our nervous system responds. Can you speak to that about what happens when we choose to do the things we know are in alignment with us? I know it relaxes, and I also know that when I don't choose that, it gets really keyed up, but I don't really understand.
Well, think about like so our nervous system really, because we're in a modern age, it's there isn't a tiger or a lion that's going to eat us. So what
Well, but my mind is sure there is somewhere.
yeah,
right around
because it has we still run that biologically. And so what it does is we have to look for those things in our life that will, cause those things. So it's going to be like, that email, or she said this, or maybe even the car that darts in front of us, some legit stuff,
Yeah.
But what causes a lot of the modern stress and anxiety of that nervous system is us thinking about our thoughts and recreating and recreating and recreating. And that just creates those emotions and heightens your nervous system and activates that. So it'll keep it elevated. It'll keep you stressed. And so I think when we go against what we know to be our core values, it creates that because you're thinking about it. Like, and even if it's just little things, like I know I should do that. I call it my brain chaos. Like I know I should just go and do that, but why am I putting it off? And so it creates that tension and that stress. And it may be kind of low key. It's not like really high up here because I have a paper due or something, but it's still something. Yeah, they feel. Or if I just go and do it, it's no longer in my head.
It's like
taxes.
Yeah.
Oh, don't talk to me about taxes. I still have to do that.
Me too. That's why I was like, oh yeah, that's on my list. I'm looking at it.
That's on my list too.
And so it's creating attention in you, which is creating, even you may not even be aware of all the thoughts, the stories that you're telling yourself about that, which is giving you emotions, which is heightening your nervous system, so you're not in peace. You're not in that rest and restore. So now you're dumping cortisol in your body and all the other stuff, and you're not getting what you need to get, to calm yourself down. But as soon as you go and do that,
life looks so much better when it's done. Other thing is, have you ever had somebody say, hey, let's get together for dinner on this date and time? And you go, oh, sure. And then you feel like somebody sucker punched you.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That's another one. And that's another nervous system response that I've seen. I accept a client, or I accept a time, or I accept an assignment of some kind. And my whole body is just like, no, but out of my mouth comes yes.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
Not moving in alignment with my values. Yeah. That to me was the basis of some serious anxiety until I learned that pattern. And it was actually my oldest daughter. She was reading this book called Girl Wash Your Face.
Yes. I love that one.
Yes. And in the book was, if it's not a hell yes, it's a hell no.
Exactly.
She took it for real. And I'm like, okay, first of all, I don't swear. So we're going to say heck yes and heck no.
Right.
But I know that the sucker punch feeling of it's a heck no.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so
This is,
it's been a
I,
pretty sincere practice for the last several years
Yep.
to
I
learn to
learned
think.
I learned a really cool thing about when looking at relationships about that.
Mhm.
And I think when they were trying to say this is more about like, well, yeah, no, it can be applied to anything that I think is outside of like your intimate, like, your family living,
Your
like
immediate circle.
your living. So it was talking about if you feel like it's an obligation or a responsibility and a little bit of like, oh, I don't want to do this. When you go to engage with a person, like who says like have lunch or like calling person, like if you're always saying, I need to do this, I need to call somebody. And so you kind of feel like this, like it's not a hell yes. It's not like this joy that I really want to go and connect.
Right.
One of the things to look at is, are you viewing connection with this person as a demand, as a
Oh,
responsibility, and not as a place of rest and like
a
rejuvenation?
delight.
Mhm.
Like it's
Is it a demand or a delight?
exactly.
And they're going to sense that.
Well, yeah.
They're going to sense that, oh, I'm a project.
Yeah, or she's doing it because she has to.
Mhm. Yeah.
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 And it's been really super interesting because,
Mhm.
there are certain people in my life that I'm all like, oh, I guess it's been 2 weeks, got a call, and things like that. And so the connection that I want with this individual is not one of like mutual coming together and feeding
Mhm.
each other. It's a
Yeah.
like, check that off, check
Right.
that. So it's like the connection that I want is not a connection of, yeah, it's
Mhm.
demand or
It's a delight.
responsibility.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I want a connection of delight.
Yeah, that was an
And
interesting thing, that concept that was brought forward. And it's like, I'm gonna have to think about that a
to
lot.
think about and work
Yeah.
on. Yes. How do I choose to have this be? I
Yeah,
want it to be delight. What
Mhm.
would it take for me to have this be delight?
yeah.
Yeah, maybe
I
I'm
even like
boundaries.
looked at my relationships,
Mhm.
friends, acquaintances, clients, all the stuff and everything, and I was like, I saw all that. It's like, wow.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. And so much of it is just habitual thinking. At least in my life it is.
Yeah,
The old thinking of, oh my gosh, I gotta,
yeah.
Yeah.
Or I don't have
instead of,
time.
wow,
Or
I get to.
yeah,
So simple, right?
Mhm. Mhm.
Yeah. And so for me, working on those habits, I get to,
I get to. Yeah. This
get
is going to
to.
be so great. This is going
And
to be
I'm so
awesome.
blessed to
what if
be able
it's
to do
wonderful?
this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What if it's
What if
wonderful?
it's wonderful?
What if
Yes.
this workout is wonderful today?
This
It
is going to be.
wasn't. I'm going to tell you that, but it was because it's over. So,
Well, then you can feel like you did something hard and be proud of
yeah,
yourself.
there we go.
And that's a great feeling. Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Oh
I
my
just love
God.
it. I love that idea of, is it demand or is it delight? When
Mhm.
it's down and dirty, I think that's really important that
The
we're
D, down
shifting
and dirty,
demands and
demand
delight.
and delay. Oh,
Would
I
have been a
like
great
that.
title for this conversation.
Oh, this is great. Yes.
Yes, would have been really good. Okay, so one of my favorite tips from the email, which by the way, if y'all don't get the Monday morning inspiration email, go to CMH Coaching. 10 seconds in, the pop-up will come up. It's a picture of me with a snowman, I think.
Mhm.
And put your email in there so that you get these on Monday morning. It's just such a great way to start your week, to have something positive and something to kind of think on and to be improve your life for that week. But anyway, the happy thought, choose
Mhm.
relationship over being right.
Yeah.
This is one I've been working on now for probably the last 10 years. Because when my kids all got to be adults, I just have to tell you, they all had different opinions.
Weird.
They thought things different than I thought things, but yet they felt them just as strongly as I felt mine.
Mhm.
So, and my husband, same way. We just have a really opinionated sort of people here around. But choosing the relationship over being right, relationships are my number one. That's
Mhm.
my most important. And so that I choose this relationship, help me
Mhm.
let go of my demand to be right. Because
Mhm.
as a young mom, I just felt so insecure, almost incompetent. And so if I wasn't right, it wounded my whole self-image, right? I had to be right.
Yeah.
And so for years and years, I had to be right. And then as the relationship shifted, as the kids got older, and I'm like, oh, no, 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 that's not what I want at all.
Mhm.
I want the relationship. And so because we are adults and we grow our whole life long, I began to work on that and choose my relationships. So that for me, because I live in a household that doesn't have the same, they have the strong opinions, but they don't have the same verbal, woo, for
Yeah.
lack of a better word.
Yeah.
Just I have to lower my voice. I have to slow down my voice.
Mm.
And this one, I have to soften my eyes
Interesting.
because when I'm
Mhm.
upset, especially with my husband, um, it shows in my eyes. All my words can be, oh, this is just fine, but my eyes are hard.
Your face gives you away, right?
There
My
are
eyes give me
daggers. Your
away.
eyes have daggers. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, that shooting daggers from your eyes.
Mhm.
So, and then I learned this from Jen, ask one curious question.
Mhm.
And you do have to kind of work with your inner rebel and with yourself to choose relationship over being right with that choosing one curious question because you're sure you're right. You just
Yeah.
are, and so it takes a little humility to be able to ask a question, but lower your voice, soften your eyes, choose one curious question.
Mm.
That has been really beneficial for me in my marriage because I married a man who has just as strong a will and just as strong opinions as I do. And so to have a curious question instead of a you're wrong is
Yeah.
huge.
Mhm.
Help me understand this. Do I understand this correctly?
Yeah.
Mhm.
And to be able to have a conversation there.
I just did this one. We had a discussion the other day. My
Was
husband.
it an intense discussion?
It's an intense discussion. And
Yeah, we get those too. Boy, they can get intense, but I haven't thrown anything in a long time.
when the energy was diffused and we went to our corners, licked our wounds, and came back,
Mhm.
um, it was that question. And I was just like, I think there's something behind what you said. I think because that was an intense,
That was quite a strong
Reaction.
reaction, I
intense
Yeah.
think.
reaction. And
Yeah.
is there something else behind that? And then it was like, yeah. So, sometimes just asking those questions.
It's the ball.
Yeah.
Yes,
Right?
the reaction is when the beach ball pops up,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
But
Hmm.
So
having
let's
time
slow,
to kind of
let's,
diffuse that energy.
yeah.
Did it all end okay?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. It did.
But the curious question, right?
Hmm. Hmm.
And what else helps you guys in the messy middle?
Well, always turning to God, just
Always.
just always turning to him and just saying, "Hey, I need some help. I'm being human right now,
You
and
know what I'm
I
doing.
really want to be more like you and help me have eyes to see and ears to hear and words to speak that would be more in line with my Savior and with how he would do it, There's a
Yeah.
kid's song, if the Savior walked beside me, would I do the things I do?
I remember when that one came out feeling so good.
Yes.
I'm like,
Yeah. Yeah.
because he does walk beside us
Yeah.
every day.
Yeah. Yeah. And just thinking about that, giving it some thought. And when I remember and when I don't, then I get to say, oh, man, I messed up again. I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
Can you help me like again? And like,
Again. Yeah.
yeah,
Here we are.
he never gets tired of and I think that's the beautiful thing is when we can realize, and I had one of those aha moments this weekend was just understanding that how much he loves us and
Mm,
how many tries he gives us. He
yeah.
doesn't have, and there's no expiration date. There's no, oh, you get 1,062 tries on that one, and then you get 50 on this. There's none of that. It's always, he wants so much for us to come back and be with him. Just like I want my kids to come home and
In
be with
this
us.
pursuit, right?
Yeah. And to
Relentless.
remember the good.
Yes.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You
And
remember, do you remember as kids or young adults ever saying, I need a do-over?
Yes, I need to
Over?
over.
Yeah, that's what
do
I call
over.
Yep.
Yes.
Do over. Hmm.
endless do-overs. Yeah.
Endless do-overs.
Mm.
Absolutely endless
Yeah.
do-overs.
One
Yeah.
thing that helps me get through the messy middle is just knowing that it's not going to last. I used to be a,
Mm.
this will never end, that doom and gloom, despair,
Yes.
agony,
Yes.
like this is going to be the rest of my life, that whole thought distortion. But learning that, yeah, this down, it's not gonna last forever. It's gonna
Mhm.
change. I just have to write it out. Yeah, that really
Mhm.
helps me to say, yeah, okay, it
It's temporary.
right now doesn't feel right now, but it'll shift.
And it always is. I mean, look, and then can go back and prove it to yourself. Yeah. Look, when this happened and you thought this was never gonna end.
Thought my life
Look
was
when-
over, the type of
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And
Change. Yes.
I oftentimes have to prove to myself that, oh, look, it is true. Yeah.
and I
It
got
does
through
change.
it and I was okay.
Yeah.
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 Yes. Change is a gift.
Hmm.
A gift. And it always does change. Yeah.
Hmm.
It's always. Well, we talked about the importance of relationships and we talked about the importance of emotional contentment, both pillars in CMH coaching.
Hmm.
We haven't talked about the pillar of physical health and the impact of physical health in regulating our mood and our decision making. We have the flu at our house. It's a mild flu, it's not a horrific flu. But I was sick for 3 or 4 days, and now Troy is sick for 3 or 4 days.
Hmm.
And coming on the end of my not feeling good, my patience hasn't been great. I'm trying really hard not to do eye rolling, but I'm getting a lot of exercise on the wings, with the eye rolling.
Yeah.
But physical health makes a huge difference in the way that I receive things in the middle.
Mm.
Huge, huge. So,
Mm.
deliberately choosing to take care of myself has been a big deal. Making sure I get enough rest, making sure that I'm eating something that I know is nourishing rather than something that I really want to eat. Because when I'm sick, I go right for the junk food, right?
Well, yeah. Because
I
you think,
want
because it feels good for a minute.
for a minute. Yeah. And then it makes you sick longer, or you just feel really puny while you're sick. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so, yeah. And the other thing is for me, if I eat stuff that's not good for my body, my mood really suffers. Yeah.
Hmm.
And so that makes it harder on my relationships and on my emotional contentment. So,
Hmm.
but
Sometimes I just look at myself as like, am I, like it just amazes me sometimes with children. Just give them a peanut butter sandwich and let them have a nap or go
yes,
out and play. So
rest and
sometimes it's like
connection.
you meet the need physically for them to emotionally regulate.
Well,
So
and
Hmm.
that's no different for us, right? We need to go out and play. Gosh, wouldn't that just be great? Let's just go out and play, right?
eat something because sometimes the Lord tells me,
Something.
eat something and take a nap. Like you're hangry, girl. And I'm like, oh, that's
Yes.
a nap.
True.
You know?
True. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's
Yeah.
so
Like
much
that's
better
true.
after I have food and nap. I'm like, okay, I can keep it together.
Yeah,
Hmm.
life looks really
Hmm.
good now. What a remarkable food and a rest.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah. So those are my ideas for the messy middle. There's a simple daily framework in the Monday morning inspiration, just 4 questions that you can put somewhere where you can look at them on the regular. Does it strengthen my relationship? Does it honor my body?
Mm.
Does it increase the peace in my soul?
Mm.
And then this one gets me every time. Would I be proud to account for this hour? Yeah.
That's
But
a hard
those are
one.
really good measuring sticks. Does it strengthen my relationship? Does it honor my body? Does it increase my peace, in what I'm going to do next? Would I be proud to account for what I'm doing here? Yeah.
Right.
Put me right back where I need to be. But it's not a shameful thing.
Yeah.
It's just a
It's
term.
accountability, right?
Yeah.
it's accountability.
Yeah, it's
And we
just
have to have that. We have to be able to measure that. We places of measurement to look and to say, have I improved on this? How
yeah,
long did it take me to shift this time than where I was maybe 2 years ago? Because I can say that I can move much more quickly from being a victim to my creator self,
Mhm.
yeah.
much more quickly. I'm not days and months in or years
It is sitting in
Yeah,
sometimes
I
years.
know. I thought years.
Yeah,
in
yeah,
that place, right? Yeah.
yeah.
And that's our measurement. And I think it's important that we take time to reflect and recognize that. Yeah.
See our progress. Yeah,
Hmm.
yeah. See our progress. And just remember, this is something I learned from Jacine. You brought it up from your son a couple of, maybe it was a year or so ago. We were learning about weakness,
Mm.
and he had said something about weakness being a doorway. Do you remember?
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. It's it's a doorway into strength. So we have that weakness and we step through that doorway and recognize that it's a weakness. And then we have the opportunity to choose, can I make this a strength? And how can I? Or do I want to stay here in this weakness, you know,
In this space and
in this
just
space? Yeah.
do it
Yeah.
take a
But
little bit more
there's
time if I'm ready.
there's other doors that we can choose to take
Yeah.
that lead to that peace and happiness. But sometimes we just want to wallow. But how
I
long do you
know.
want to
That's the
wallow?
50-50. I think
Right?
that's the most important thing is we women who want to grow and be stronger, we tend to be too hard on ourselves.
Mhm.
We have
Yeah.
to love both sides, both of the 50s, and just embrace them all the way.
Hmm.
Yeah. There's not shame. Weakness is a doorway. Exactly.
Yeah.
Especially in the down and dirty moments. Yeah. Little self-compassion, maybe a little chocolate. It's all good.
There we go.
All good. So I heard we changed the time for book club.
We did Wednesdays. It's the same time, 1 o'clock Eastern time. And we meet for half an hour. And we loved talking about our last book, The Music of Bees. It was just so good. Everyone loved that book. And it was one of those kind of off the wall things where we're like, oh, okay, well, I guess we'll try it.
Yeah,
And it ended up touching everybody. And everybody was able to apply it to their lives, which was really cool. Yeah.
that's
And
beautiful.
and I kind of feel like that's the way the girl with 7 names is going to be. What are
I think,
some of the things that she used in her
Yeah.
life to manage and to get through? Yeah.
I think we love a good redemption story.
Yes.
Boy, I do. It just is so
Yes.
inspiring for me. Is
Yes.
The Girl with Seven Names available in audiobook?
It is. It is. And it's really good. I have it in audio. Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
cool.
The person reading it, I get kind of picky with readers.
Yeah.
I'm really picky with
Sometimes I'm
you.
like, I can't listen to that one. I'm gonna have to read that one. But yeah, no, good. It's good. Yeah.
Cool, cool.
Yeah. So
We actually don't have anything to tell you about what's coming up, except spring break is coming up.
yes.
Yes. And I just love Christmas break, but by the time we're into the year and we're headed for spring break just has a special place for my soul. I just love spring break. And so we are taking spring break the week between the 15th and the 22nd of March. So if we go silent, it's not because we're gone. It's because we're partying because it's spring break. And that's what we do for spring break. At least that's what I do.
Hmm.
So between the 15th and the 22nd, we won't have Coach and Clear. We won't have Mastermind. We won't have Tai Chi. You guys might consider taking a spring break that week too. And then come back on the 23rd or the 24th to whatever you attend. That's what you did and what kind of joy you had and what kind of delight did you have instead of demands. And how
Hmm.
did you celebrate spring break because it's the best. So 15th to the 22nd, nobody at CMH Coaching. Maybe you want to have some spring break for yourself. But for next week, we'll be back. And we hope you will join us. So thanks for coming for episode 150. We look forward to episode 200 coming up in the not too distant future to a podcast near you.
We're going to clap for that. Yes.
We'll be back.
We'll send balloons. Won't that be fun?
Oh, yes. Send balloons.
Yes. Be good.
Thanks, you guys.
Yes.
We'll see you all soon.
Bye.
Bye, y'all.
I can choose to be happy, choose to be free, moment by moment. It's all up to me, 'cause what I think about, I bring about. That's the way it is, and there is no doubt. Day by day, I pave the way with every little thought I think.
Hey, thanks for joining us today in A Creator-Based Life. I hope you felt that compassion, mindfulness, and hope you came seeking today. You can find more of it at cmhcoaching.com or on Linktree/CMHcoaching. Of course, any social media outlet, we're there too. Because you felt the benefit and light in this message, please invite those you care deeply about to join us. Help us to create a ripple effect across the globe of compassion, mindfulness, and hope. Then we can create a creator-based life together. Have a great week, y'all. We'll talk to you soon.
I just fill my mind with gratitude. I give thanks for everything, with every little thought I think. I can choose to be happy, choose to be free, moment by moment. It's all up to me, 'cause what I think about, I bring about. That's the way it is, and there is no doubt. Day by day, I pave the way with every little thought I think. Day by day, I pave the way